There is a person you were supposed to become. It's in there. You've seen it. In flashes. In that rare instant when you acted without fear, said what you thought, did what you knew you had to do. For 1 second, you were that person. And then you went back to being what everyone expects you to be. Nietzsche has 4 words for you. 4 words he left as a command, not as advice. And they are these: become who you are. Not discover who you are, not accept who you are. Become. It's a verb. It's work. It's something you do, and that most people die without ever having done. And pay attention to who is saying this, because it changes everything. Friedrich Nietzsche did not write these words from a comfortable tower. He wrote them sick, nearly blind, with headaches that kept him bedridden for days, vomiting, alone in cheap rented rooms across Europe. Abandoned by the woman he loved, ignored by the world, selling almost no copies of the books that today shake the planet. A man who had every reason his whole life to surrender, and who instead wrote the most violent hymns to human strength ever written. He did not speak of strength because strength came easy. He spoke of strength because he tore it out of pain with his own hands every day. That's why when Nietzsche speaks, it isn't theory. It's a bleeding man who refused to fall. Today I'm going to show you 7 brutal truths about that command. 7 hammer blows. And I warn you now, if you're looking for comfort, close this video. There's no lap here. There's a forge. Because that is what Nietzsche was. He didn't come to console you. He came to hammer you until you turned to steel. Let's take the first truth. You were not born you. You were assembled. Stop at what you think you are. Your tastes, your opinions, the way you react when someone contradicts you. You think that's you, your core, your essence. It isn't. Almost all of it was placed inside you by people you didn't even choose. Your parents with their fears. School, which rewarded you for obeying and punished you for questioning. Friends who taught you what to laugh at and what to be ashamed of. The era you were born into, which handed you ready-made opinions before you had thoughts of your own. You are a patchwork quilt sewn by other people's hands. And here's the punch. Most people spend their entire lives defending, tooth and nail, a personality they never chose. They fight, they take offense, they would die for opinions that were simply deposited in them, like a coin dropped into a piggy bank. Nietzsche wakes you with a slap. None of that is you. Yet, you are raw material waiting for a sculptor, and the sculptor has to be you, or you'll go on being everyone except yourself. And look at this simple, terrifying test. Take a strong opinion you hold, one of those you defend in an argument. Now ask, where did it come from? When exactly did you sit down, examine both sides, and decide on your own? Or did you inherit it ready-made from your family, your group, your bubble, and just kept piling up arguments to defend a conclusion you never actually chose? Most of our most passionate convictions are like that. They're not thoughts. They're tattoos inked on us when we were too young to say no. And we spend our lives defending the ink as if it were the soul. The first truth, then, what you call I is for the most part inheritance and accident. Recognizing this doesn't diminish you. It gives you, for the first time, the chance to choose. Second truth, the herd offers a deal, and the price is your soul. Society makes you a silent offer, and it's tempting. The deal is this: give up being whole, and in exchange you get safety, belonging, approval, a warm spot in the middle of the herd. And it's a good deal at first glance. As long as you think what everyone thinks, feel what everyone feels, want what everyone wants, you're never alone. You're accepted. You're normal. And being normal is comfortable because no one attacks you. But Nietzsche saw the price hidden in that contract. And the price is you, your possible greatness. That version of you that is only born when you dare to break from the herd and walk alone. Because the herd hates whoever is different. Not because the different one is evil, but because the different one is a living accusation. Every person who dares to be themselves reminds the others of everything they were afraid to be. That's why the herd punishes whoever stands out, with gossip, with contempt, with the question, "Who do you think you are?" And that is exactly where you find out what you're made of. Because standing on your own, under the disapproving gaze of the herd, is the hardest thing there is, and the most necessary. Think of a simple example. In a group of friends, everyone agrees on something that you, deep down, know is wrong. Feel what happens in your body. Your throat tightens. The true opinion rises to your mouth and goes back down. And you end up agreeing, or you stay silent, and you walk away with that bitter taste of someone who betrayed himself for a scrap of approval. Everyone has lived this, and every time it happens, a little piece of your spine dissolves. You train yourself, bit by bit, to disappear. Nietzsche is telling you that courage is not a gift some have and others don't. It's a muscle. And every time you choose your truth over the herd's approval, even trembling, even with your voice cracking, that muscle grows. The second truth, then, the comfort of belonging is real. But you pay for it with the one thing that was only yours. No one becomes who they are without, at some point, disappointing the herd. Third truth, and this one separates the men from the slaves. Suffering is not your enemy. It's your chisel. Today's culture teaches you that pain is a mistake, that any discomfort must be eliminated, numbed, avoided. Felt sad? Take a pill. Felt bored? Grab your phone. Felt anguish? Distract yourself. Modern life is a giant machine for fleeing pain. Nietzsche spits on that idea. For him, almost everything humanity produced that was great was born of suffering. Pain is what breaks your shell. It's what forces you to grow, because what doesn't kill you forces you to grow stronger, or destroys you if you refuse to grow. And he goes deeper, to a point almost no one has the courage to say. He says, learn to love your suffering. Not to endure, to love. Because it was your worst nights, your greatest losses, your humiliations that carved into you everything you have that is deep. A life with no pain at all would be a shallow life, a lake with no bottom. I'm not saying seek out suffering, that's sick. I'm saying that when it comes, and it comes for everyone, you have two choices, to be broken by it or to be carved by it. The stone doesn't choose the chisel, but you choose what you make of the cut. The third truth, then, pain is inevitable, but wasting it is not. Whoever flees all suffering flees also everything that could have made him great. If that hammer blow struck you, if you've ever turned a pain into your greatest strength, write 2 words in the comments. I turned to steel. 4th truth. There's an animal inside you, and taming it to death is suicide. Inside you dwells a force. Nietzsche called it by many names, but think of it as a fire. It's your passion, your rage, your desire, your ambition, your brute strength. Everything wild in you. The morality of the herd has a plan for that force, to put it out. It teaches you that rage is ugly, that ambition is sin, that desire is dangerous, that pride is a flaw. It wants you meek, domesticated, harmless, a circus animal that has forgotten it was once a beast. And many people obey. They spend their whole lives stamping on their own fire, afraid of it. And the result is not goodness. The result is a person gone dim, lifeless, full of a bitterness they don't even understand the source of. The bitterness comes from there, from having killed their own strength to please others. Nietzsche doesn't want you to put out the fire. He wants you to master it. There's an abyssal difference between the two. To put out is to kill the force. To master is to take that same wild energy and aim it in a direction. The wild horse should not be killed, it should be ridden. Your rage can become courage. Your desire can become creation. Your ambition can become work. But only if you're not afraid of your own power. The 4th truth, then, the virtue of the weak is to have no strength for evil and to call that goodness. The virtue of the strong is to have all the fire of the world within and to command it. Don't be meek, be dangerous, and choose not to harm. And understand why this matters so much. A person who never felt rage is not peaceful, only apathetic. A person who never felt temptation is not virtuous, only weak. The worth of your goodness depends entirely on the strength you'd have for the opposite. The gentle man who could be terrible and chooses gentleness is infinitely stronger than the gentle man who simply has no other option. The first has virtue, the second only has impotence disguised as morality. Nietzsche wants you to be the first, to know your own capacity for fury, for force, for destruction, to look it in the eye without fear, and then, from the height of all that power, to choose what to build with it. That is being fully human. The rest is being a domesticated animal that mistook the leash for character. 5th truth. The obstacles are not in your way, they are the way. You probably dream of a life where things finally get easy, where the problems end, where you arrive at last at rest, and you treat every obstacle as an interruption, a nuisance between you and that future peace. Nietzsche destroys that fantasy. He says you shouldn't want an easy life. You should want a life worthy of you, and a life worthy of a strong human being is made of resistance, of struggle, of hard things that demand everything of you. Think of a bonfire. Wind is the enemy of the small flame. It snuffs it out in a breath. But wind is the fuel of the great flame. It makes it roar higher. The difference isn't in the wind. It's in the size of the fire. And what makes the fire grow is precisely facing winds, not fleeing them. Every obstacle you overcome is not just an obstacle removed. It's the building of yourself. It's the muscle of the soul being forged. The people who had everything easy are the most fragile there are, because they never needed to build the strength that only difficulty builds. They are glass, beautiful, and they shatter at the first touch. The fifth truth, then, don't ask for a lighter load. Ask for a stronger back. The obstacle you curse is exactly the tool that sculpts you. Sixth truth, God is dead, and that is your most terrifying liberation. That's Nietzsche's most famous line and the most misunderstood. God is dead. People think it's an atheist's provocation. It isn't. It's a diagnosis, and it's about you, whether you believe in God or not. What Nietzsche meant is that the old foundations collapsed. For millennia, there was a manual up above that said what was right, what the meaning of life was, where you should go. You didn't need to create anything, just obey. Meaning came ready-made from outside. And now, Nietzsche says, that sky is empty. No one is going to come down to tell you what you exist for. No manual, no authority, no tablet of stone. You are alone before a silent universe. And here, most people panic and rush to find a new master. If not a god, then an ideology, a celebrity, a flag, any crowd that will think for them. Because total freedom is unbearable for the weak. It's easier to have someone giving orders, but for the strong man, this is the greatest news in history. If there is no ready-made meaning, then you are free, for the first time, to create your own. If no one is going to tell you who to be, then you are the only author. The empty sky is not a tragedy. It's a blank canvas, and in your hand is the brush. The sixth truth, then, the death of the old gods leaves you orphaned and free at the same time. The weak look for a new master. The strong become their own. Seventh truth. And now it all comes together in a single question that can change your life. Nietzsche proposes an experiment. He calls it the eternal return, and it's the heaviest idea he ever had. Imagine a demon appears one night and tells you, "This life you lived, you'll have to live again. Exactly the same. Every pain, every joy, every instant, every mistake, repeated infinite times, forever." And then he asks you, would that crush you with horror? Or would you fall to your knees in gratitude? That question is the trial by fire. It is, in a way, the sharpest question ever put to a human being, because it strips away every excuse at once. You cannot answer it with your plans, your someday, your when things settle down. You can only answer it with the life you are actually living, right now, exactly as it is. Because if the idea of repeating your current life fills you with dread, that's a sign. It means you're not living your life. You're living a lukewarm life, deferred, made of choices that aren't yours, of days you just push forward hoping they'll end. But imagine living in such a way that, if the demon came, you'd look at him and say, "Yes, again, 1,000 times again, because every piece of this life was mine. I chose, I created, I became who I am, and I would do it all over again." That is what it means to become who you are. It's not arriving at a destination. It's living in such a way that you'd embrace your own entire life, with everything in it, and ask for it one more time. And understand the genius of that idea, because it's not about the past, it's about now. Nietzsche isn't asking you to like what already happened. He's giving you a compass for every decision still to come. From today, before every choice, you have a question that cuts like a razor. Would I want to repeat this forever? That lukewarm relationship I keep out of fear of being alone, would I want to live it infinite times? That dragging day spent doing things I hate to impress people I don't even like, would I ask to repeat it? The question exposes in an instant everything that is cowardice in your life, and it points with the same clarity to everything worth living. Live so that eternal repetition would be a gift, not a sentence. That's the compass. Use it every day. The seventh truth, then. Live so that you would want to repeat every instant forever. That is the only measure that matters. Not what others think, not what is safe, just this. Would you say yes to your own life? Let's hold all 7 before the fire dies down. The first, what you call I is inheritance and accident. You are raw material waiting for a sculptor, and the sculptor is you. The second, the herd gives you comfort and charges you your soul. No one becomes who they are without disappointing the herd. The third, pain is not the enemy, it's the chisel. Whoever flees all suffering flees everything that could have made him great. The fourth, don't put out your fire, master it. Be dangerous and choose not to harm. The fifth, the obstacle is not in the way, it is the way. Don't ask for a lighter load, ask for a stronger back. The sixth, the old gods died. That leaves you free to create your own meaning. The weak seek another master, the strong become their own. And the seventh, live so that you'd say yes to your entire life again and again, forever. Nietzsche wrote none of this to give you peace. He wrote it to set you on fire, because he believed in something our era forgot, that you did not come into the world to be comfortable. You came to be great. And between those two, you have to choose every day, because you can't have both. The path he points to is harder. It's more solitary. It hurts more. But at the end of it is something comfort will never give you. A life that was truly yours. A life you'd look at, whole, and say yes. Think about this one last time. On your deathbed, a single question will matter. And it won't be how much applause you gathered, nor how many people you pleased, nor how safe you played. The question will be, did I live my life, or did I live the life they expected of me? Was I myself, or a well-behaved copy of everyone else? Nietzsche wrote his entire work so that your answer, when the hour comes, is the first. He is on your side. He only refuses to lie about the price. So this week, one task, and it's heavy the way Nietzsche liked it. Take one decision in your life, something you do or don't do, and ask with brutal honesty, did I choose this, or was it chosen for me? That job, that opinion, that fear, that way of living, is it mine, or was it deposited in me by the herd, by my family, by my fear of what others will say. You'll discover that a good part of your life you didn't choose. Don't change everything at once. That would be madness. But choose one thing, just one, and take back command of it. Becoming who you are begins with a single act of your own will against the inertia of everything that assembled you. And which of the 7 burned you deepest? Not the prettiest, the one that left you uncomfortable, the one you already started arguing against in your head while I was talking. Write the number in the comments, because the one that bothers you is the door you need to walk through. If this video lit something in you, leave a like. That's how it finds another person who is asleep, waiting for exactly that slap to wake up. One like is one more forge lit somewhere. And subscribe, because here we don't seek comfort, we seek fire. And every week I come back with more. Become who you are. Before the demon asks. Because one night, in a way, he will. And the only answer that will matter is the one your life already gave.